This is your host Raquel, and it's nice having each and every one of you. Now, if this is your first time, I want to welcome you, and if this is not your first time and you are one of our very great subscribers, we just want to welcome you back. All right, so in today's video, I am here to tell you about how to be quarantine ready for your getaway. That's right. So my husband and I recently took our annual anniversary getaway, wedding anniversary getaway. And at first we were a little bit skeptical about traveling due to the coronavirus and the pandemic, but then we had to be a little bit more strategic in order to make sure that we were able to go out, travel, and to celebrate with each other another milestone in our marriage. Or today I am here to share with you some of the things that we did to prepare ourselves for our COVID or our quarantine getaway. And so one of the first things that we did is we made sure that we had all our essential sanitizers and disinfectant wipes. So we got our hand sanitizers, and we also had sanitizer for the car, and also we had wipes, disinfectant wipes. So we packed those in there, and we also got our own linen. That's right. We had our own pillowcases, and we also had like a very plush blanket, big enough for a king-size bed, because we knew that's what we were going to get at the hotel. And we had other little blankets as well, just in case if we had gotten cold on our road trip. Another thing is we opted to do a road trip, drive our own vehicle, instead of taking the airplane or going on an aircraft, because again, with traveling during this time, COVID and pandemic and being quarantined, we still have to make sure that we are safe. And one way that we stay safe is just to be cautious all the time and take the necessary precautionary measures when traveling. Another thing that we also got is our masks. Can't go anywhere without our masks these days. We have masks that were created, and so these were not disposable. So we had like a few of them just in case we got any of them lost or displaced. And sure enough, my husband did displace the most favorite of all. But thankfully I had a backup because I brought like about 6 of them. Also, when we're at the hotel and I told them that we lost our mask, they actually gave us 2 extra ones. So that was very thoughtful of them. Everyone has extra masks. Also, I think one of the reasons why the hotel gave us the mask is because when we entered the property, we realized that at the front door it was in red letters, or maybe black and white, that we needed to, that masks were required at all times. So we were glad that we took our masks. So the first thing we did is we actually made sure that we had our hand sanitizers to keep our hands clean when we're not able to wash. So we had our Naya Sophia hand sanitizers, and we also had our air therapy house sanitizer by Naya Sophia as well. And we were able to take those along with us with our disinfectant wipes, and also had a hand sanitizer for the car. So after that, we got in our car and we were ready to go on our trip. As we got into the mountains, we're driving into Georgia, and we had to stop at the rest stops. The first thing we did is to make sure that we had our masks, and also as soon as my husband was done pumping the gas, we'd always have the hand spray ready to make sure that his hands were clean from touching the pads at the gas station. Now that's just something that everyone should do, whether or not you're on a travel vacation or not. You should always make sure that you have your hand sanitizer if you're not able to wash your hands after you press the buttons to get your fuel at the gas station. Another thing that we did, choosing a hotel was very difficult for us, because going into a place where you know that anything and anyone can have the virus, we don't operate in fear, but we're still cautious. And so one of the things that we actually did was I had to make sure that I found the right hotel. At first, we opted for a cottage or a cabin in the mountains. One of the reasons why we chose to go into nature, which was no problem for me, was because we knew that we wanted to be somewhere outdoors. We didn't want to be in a city, definitely not in the city, and we didn't want to be somewhere where it was where there were a lot of people. So we chose the mountains, and it was definitely gorgeous. It was worth it. Whether or not there was COVID, going to Pine Mountains was definitely worth it, and I would definitely do it again. But choosing a hotel was not very easy because we're not there. We've never been to the place before, and so we're not sure of their policies where sanitizing is concerned and cleaning and making sure everything is nice and ready for us. So when we got there, I was thankful that the hotel had strategically placed hand sanitizers from the front desk to the. They also had. They had continental breakfast served, and that area was very secure, and I felt safe eating there as well. They had gloves, they had sanitizers, hand sanitizer pumps and sanitizers standing next to the food, and where social distancing was also required and recommended there. The patrons were very helpful. They wore their gloves at all times, they wore their masks, so we knew that for the most part the food was safe. Most of the stuff were packaged, and on top of that they would actually wash stuff for you if you asked them to wash or assist you in any way. So that was another great thing. So we stayed in a little town called La Grange. I call it La Grange because it just sounded Spanish, but I think the locals call it La Grange. So we stayed in a little town, La Grange, that is about 15 miles out of Pine Mountain. And it's a very small town, so we didn't get to spend a lot of time there. We mostly slept there, and then we were off for our adventure during the day. So when I got to the hotel, I made sure I just sanitized everything. When I say everything, I mean everything. I cleaned everything. The only thing that I did not clean is like the actual floor itself. But I wiped down the headboards on the bed, I wiped down the TV, I wiped down the refrigerator, the microwave, the handles to the door, the bathroom knobs, the bathroom countertops. I went down cleaning. And I know to a lot of folks, they're like, well, that's a lot to go through when you pay your money. Well, yes, but our safety is also important. We want to go out and have a good time, and we want to be comfortable knowing that it's almost like home, And so I cleaned everything, and then we were pretty much ready to go. Another thing that we did is we stopped at the local grocery store. Eating out was not a big thing for us, but we did have dinner at a restaurant at one point. And I was particular about that, and I did ask them to clean off everything. And they did. They assured me that everything was clean. But you know what, my friends? One thing that we did do is we prayed, and we're like, we're good. We believe that, and by believing it, we just let it be, and then we just had a great time. So that is how we prepared for our getaway. Number one, we made sure we had our hand sanitizers, and we had our air therapy house sanitizer, almost like a Lysol spray. We did ask for Lysol, but they didn't have any, so we're glad we brought our own air therapy home sanitizer spray. We also made sure we had our masks. Those were essential. And then I brought my own linen. From home, and we were good with that. We just spread it over what they had, and we had our own pillowcases because we didn't want to put our faces on the pillows there. We weren't sure how clean and how sanitized they were. Then we noticed that they had sanitizers everywhere, even at the elevators. They had sanitizers strategically placed on each floor, and I thought that was great because each time you press something, it's contracted through touch, and so we have to be careful. And then when it came on to having our food, like at the continental breakfast, also we were very cautious and clear in what we ate. Most things came from a package, and we would unfold it, toast it ourselves. Each of their items, like bagels or muffins or whatnot, were also individually wrapped. They were individually wrapped from the company, and then they were individually, like if there were a pack of bagels, the bagels were individually wrapped by the hotel. So they take a lot of precautions in ensuring that we stay safe while we were there, and we really appreciated that. So we had a great time. Pine Mountains, we went and visited Callaway Gardens, we went to FDR State Park, we went to FDR's Little White House. We were all over the place, and each time we got there, we always made sure that we had our masks on and that we had our hand sanitizers, just in case we weren't able to wash our hands. So that's how we prepared for our quarantine Corona COVID getaway. It was great. We had a great time. All right, my friends, stay tuned. Remember, if you do like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, and to hit that subscription button below. As usual, it's always, definitely always a treasure. Always great hearing from each and every one of you. So don't forget to leave us a comment. Let us know if you have been on any getaways since the COVID pandemic. Let us know how you prepared for it. Maybe we shared some similar things together, or maybe you have something that I may have overlooked. So sharing is caring. Also, remember to share. You never know. When I was preparing for my trip, if I had this video, it would have helped. So I just came up with some of these things on my own, hoping that we can help you out. Well, always remember to stay in top flight, my friends, because we have to help each other to be the best expression of ourselves. So see you at the top. Okay, so after all that mountain climbing and everything, I just thought it fitting to get my hair up. I wore my hair out the whole time I was there in the mountains, and let me tell you, my daughter told me to not pack shorts but to pack sweaters and stuff, because she's like, Mom, it's gonna be so cold up in the mountains. Nothing like that. It was very hot, and so I wore my hair down a lot of times. So now that I'm back, I've decided to wrap my hair and to just get all the stuff and the heat off of my shoulders for a little while. This is my little African wrap. I really like it. Thanks to my friend Carlene, who's always making sure that I stay in tip-top shape where my African ensembles are concerned. But my friends, thank you so much for watching. As usual, it's always fun hanging around and talking to you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay in top flight. We have to help each other to be the best expression of ourselves. See you at the top.